This is a glove compartment insert frame for an '02 Volvo V70, and I know there's lots of videos out there on how to take it out, and like others, mine broke. The swinging door was pulled out too hard, and it broke the catch, the stop. You know, if you have two stops on each side, one was broke. I could have tried to glue it, but I wasn't sure that it was really going to last. And if I had to, I would have. But found one at the junkyard, but it wasn't of the same year. And I got it anyway just to make sure. But the difference was that the spring, the little shock that's on this side that hangs down, it looks like a little shock absorber. I had one here, but this one, or the one I got, didn't have that. It had like a string, and so it was a different model, a different version. Even though this frame was the same, the retractable apparatus, which on mine had the shock or spring, it was about so long, but this one, the one I got, didn't. It had like a string, and I bought the insert anyway, brought it home, and I noticed that little string retractor had a pathway on the right side of this insert that went through here and was attached to the back of the door. And so this was in the way of the other model with the string. So I had to, I found out that you could cut this part out to make room for your stopper, or your shock is going to be traveling up and down or moving a little bit, and this is in the way. So if you just cut, if you have your old insert, you can see what you have to cut, but it's just this corner with where the string went through. If you just cut that corner out, then it will give you the necessary room for your spring retractor to operate. And so you can use a different insert if you cut this extra part out. Now, if you have the model where yours does have the string, then you probably have to get the same type of frame, which has this little additional pieces added to it. So that's you got to stay with that, or just not have it at all, and it doesn't slow it down. When you open the door, it just won't slow it down if you don't have that stuff. So anyway, I cut that out and made it just like this. Just like this. This is the one I needed, but it had this on it, on the other one, which with this on it too, for that string to travel through. Maybe that's too much information, but if you're like me, I try to get as much info as I can before I go for it. So, and of course my shock, like others, it was broke, and since this one didn't have one at the junkyard, I had to use my old one, and I rigged up some kind of little clamp on top to keep that little piston shock thing in the top part of the pin, and was able to make it work. And of course, you know, these little hinge pins come out. Just if you go from the inside going to the outside, you'll have more room than if you try to go from the outside in. And anyway, so hope that might help you. The only other thing I observed, that, which I'm not sure others probably know, but if you were to replace that little shock absorber that goes on this side, I think if you hook the top on first, I could be wrong, you guys correct me, hook the top onto the stud, the pin first, and just and extend it. You know, you can extend it past a certain point and it stays extended. And then after you put the top on, then you can put your insert in with the door attached. And there's just enough room, even if you go ahead and put the screws on your frame, there's just enough room to get to the bottom of that little shock support. There's just enough room to be able to attach it to the door and get your screw in there to tighten it. But I don't know. Someone else probably has another video on how to replace that little shock absorber spring. So anyway, hope this, I know this is way too much information, but you can skip through it, and if this helps, good.